Okay, you got it. You got it. I'm not gonna argue with
not only that, I have vacationed with her mother in Martha's Vineyard.
Oh.
Okay, just like
so hold on a second. Let me address this real quick. Jane, I agree. The next thing to go is probably birthright citizenship. As somebody wrote, next to go will be right to bear arms. They will never mess with guns in America. Americans love their guns too much, and so do the politicians, because the gun lobby is way too strong for them to ever fuck with guns. Excuse my language. Just, bro.
Good. Yeah, sorry, I just said that she doesn't look black. Anyone who just doesn't know her history or anything like that, her lineage, would assume she's anything but black.
She's black, and she was born in Shiraz, Iran.
Ooh.
Yeah. To me, you look black.
Thank you.
All right.
She's Iranian.
So
I get a little sensitive being light. You get a little sensitive hearing people always say you're not this, you're not that. So I don't mean to yell at you, Kay. I apologize.
Sloan, you can yell anytime you want in my space.
So, JB, I got a question for you.
Oh, what's the question?
Do white people have a problem with free speech?
Depends on the white person.
It depends on the speech.
Where's that? What are you basing this question on, Jay?
On Jimmy Kimmel and Charlie Kirk.
I had no problems with what Jimmy Kimmel said, and I know that's going to trigger some people.
I mean, I'm not directing this at you, JB.
No, I'm not taking it that way. I don't take things personal on this out, Jay. I'm just saying, for me, you asked me the question, so I can only answer for myself.
Yes,
I have no problems with what he said. I think that we've become a hypersensitive society, and we pick and choose what topics mean something to us. Just my opinion.
Okay, I got one more question for you, JB. Do super PACs have a problem with free speech?
Once again, my friend, I think that depends on the super PAC. You disagree with that?
No, I'm just saying you know what I'm talking about. Every time I discuss super PACs. Hold up. I want to ask one. All right, let me ask one question to the room right quick. So Kamala Harris had $73 billion back in her. Donald Trump had $53 billion back in her. Should we know the names of the billionaires back in these people that's running for president?
Hey, what do you say? Wait, hold on a second. No, don't bring Frank up, please. Okay, guys.
Where are you getting your information, first of all?
Well, it's public information.
That's not an answer. I said, where did you get it? Not whether it's public or not.
From the internet.
Determined to shorten his long car like this.
Well, it's starting to know they have donors, so that's not really information.
Hold on. So, El, you don't know super PACs exist?
I said, where did you get the information that he had 60? Did you say he had 65?
No, he had $53 billion back in him. Kamala had $73 billion back in her.
And what does that mean, backing her?
Sponsoring the campaign.
Well, people have a right to donate money.
So we don't have a right to know who did it?
There are laws of transparency. If you donate to the campaign, that's public information. But if you donate through something else that then gives the money to the campaign, that information is not public. And there are also limits on how much you can donate.
So I want to ask you, bro. So do you think, as Americans, we should know who these billionaires are or not?
So again, I urge you to check your source on this, and then go and check out campaign finance law, and then you'll see that people who donate to campaigns are public information. You can get their first and last name.
Okay.
Thank you, Jay.
I'm gonna go check that.
Thank you, Jay. I gotta say hello to a few people. I'll come back to you, I promise. I'm gonna say hello to First Lady, and then I'm going to the interpreter and Vesper. First Lady Chi, what an honor to have you in my space. How you doing?
Good evening, sir. It's an honor to be here. How are you, JB?
I'm good. I'm just a little conflicted on, is free speech still a real thing, or is it real if you run with the narrative that they want you to say?
Let's just say I won't comment because I believe that this thing is real, honey. I believe it. Hey, Elmo. Hey, KP, Uncle KP.
What's up, First Lady? How you doing?
Good. Yeah, JB, I'm sorry. I don't know. I think this thing is real. It's got wings. You don't think it's real?
I think it's very real. I thought, and I'm going to be honest with you, I thought cancel culture was kind of on its deathbed until now. And now you got all these crying Karens, and I would bet probably 70% of them don't even know who Charlie Kirk is, but they're crying because Charlie Kirk was MAGA. Just my opinion. And I know we're going to get smoked for the things I say tonight. I don't care. We love to say about free speech absolutists and all this other shit. That's such bullshit. Most of these amendments are bullshit. I'm just curious to see which ones they go after next. And I agree with when Jane said it's going to be birthright citizenship. Norm, you want to jump in, and then we'll go to the interpreter.
Oh, yeah, thanks. So this started when people got fired for using the wrong pronoun, and when the FBI began to track people down when they went to school board meetings. And Trump is a counterpuncher. He's known for being vengeful, and I know some personal stories about how he exacts revenge. You can go through all the people he's after now. Everybody who did any wrong to him, including John Bolton, by the way, who's being punished for his book. Of course, Letitia James, prosecutor in New York. He's going after the people that went after him, the FBI people that went after him. So when you have something like people being canceled for using the wrong pronouns or whatever indelicate or racist or bad things that they said, you can now expect there to be a reaction to that. It's blowback.
But no, let me ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
Not just this happened in real life. Is there an expiration date on when we could be when people could actually criticize somebody like Charlie Kirk after after this? I mean, how long do people on the hands lose their jobs, keep their mouth shut, but we live in a freeze country? I'm just curious.
What's the name of the short black comedian? He's really short. He's very funny.
Kevin
He's done
Hart.
a lot of movies. Yeah, Kevin Hart. Thank you. I don't know. At this hour, sometimes I forget some names. Kevin Hart lost his job hosting the Oscars because of some tweet that he made 10 years previously, and he's a comedian. So I don't think there's a time limit on how you can be punished for something that you said at a different time when the rules were different, by the way. Hey, I mean, they went digging through his tweets from 10 years previous.
I get that, Norm, but when Charlie Kirk says things about black pilots, and I know the whole context, I've heard the whole clip, I've watched the video. To me, it still came off as racist, right? I understood the context, but I thought how he said it was racist. So people can't criticize that?
Well, that's not what Kimmel was doing. Kimmel screwed up. Now, of course, you can criticize somebody's remarks. I would say wait a minute. Wait until the guy's buried, wait until the body is not still warm before you jump in. I have a feeling that the criticism was so immediate and vituperative because people were concerned that he would be sanctified, that he would be made into a saint. And I think what's done the same way when they attacked Trump, they pretty much assured his re-election. I think the same thing is true when you attack a man in that moment, right after he's been assassinated publicly. I mean, that was a moment of national horror, in my view, going all the way back to the Kennedy assassination.
Hey, Norm, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
You know, it was a national day of horror for me.
What?
When 3 cops got killed and nobody talks about it. 3 cops got killed yesterday in Pennsylvania. You don't see a single rumor about those cops being assassinated by some lunatic.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think I heard about it on the radio or something, or whatever I was listening to, like Sirius or something. I think I heard about it. Yeah, it's very weird. I don't know enough details about it. So, I mean, the anonymous citizen is never, well, I shouldn't say never, is less likely to get as much attention as somebody like Charlie Kirk, who's a national figure.
Well, let me just say this. Charlie Kirk's funeral's on Sunday at a football stadium in Arizona. They're anticipating a crowd of up to 65,000 people at this man's funeral. 65,000. That's insane to me. You would think he was saving lepers and children and puppies in burning buildings. The interpreter, how you doing, the interpreter?
Do you know anybody like Charlie Kirk anywhere in the conservative movement?
No, I'm not a conservative and I don't follow them. But let me.
That explains why you don't see how big of a deal he is.
And Shapiro was a bit like him in his time.
Okay, hold on a second. He's getting all this attention because of the way he was killed, and it was broadcast throughout the world. And Trump jumped on the bandwagon. So let me just say this, Justin. I don't know if you're conservative or not, and that's fine. You're welcome in my space. But when the President of the United States comes on the day after Charlie Kirk gets assassinated, murdered, right? And says, I blame the far left lunatics. Don't you think that's a time where he should just shut up and not throw the gasoline on the fire? Okay. No. Justin, I'm going to come back to you because I want to welcome the interpreter. The interpreter, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? How everybody doing this evening?
Doing fantastic, sir. Did you want to chime in on the conversation?
Yeah. Definitely, most definitely. I had an epiphany last night, so I hope people can follow me because it's quite simple. When it comes to let's I'm gonna speak on Donald Trump real quick, right? So Donald Trump, right? He's the prime orchestrator for America right now, according to the narrative, right? So when we think about the processes, procedures, and protocol, people are not comprehending their values. They're understanding them, right? So Donald Trump signed an executive order March 1st that clarified the claim that English is the official language of America, right? So he's making a claim to own English in a sense. With that saying, the value of the words that are being traded are all owned by the government. The evidence is in the history if anybody want to do the research. I did it, but I'm not going to expose that. The point is that the understanding will constantly be validated, but the comprehension is the evidence, which will always be overlooked in discussion as well as written documentation for recording purposes. And the reason being is that when we read and when we write, it is with the English language and not our own language.
I gotta say, respectfully, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about, bro.
No, you could look at the executive order and go back in history from there. Anybody can. I already did it. It was simple, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna speak what I say because I know what I'm saying makes sense. But if it don't make sense, do the research and then you'll bring yourself up to date of what went on in the past and why he signed that executive order March 1st in 2025.
Thank you.
And made English the official language of America today.
Thank you, the interpreter. Vespa, how you doing, Vespa?
That's a fact. That's a fact, interpreter.
How you
Clear.
I couldn't figure out what he was saying. It may be a fact, but I have no idea what he was saying.
Right? Neither do I. Go ahead. Let's go.
She's just poking me. Vespa, how you doing, bro?
How's it going?
Going all right. Do you want to chime in?
So the First Amendment is definitely under attack, right? I think the strongest evidence of that is how they're bringing all the different social media platforms to have a congressional hearing, except for X, of course, right? I mean, we see it with Stephen Colbert. We saw it first with him, right? Now they're canceling like streamers. Like Destiny got kicked off of Twitch, and they're gonna go after Hassan Abi and any liberal streamers or whatever. Like the far right owns most of social media as it is. The only real platforms the left has is like Blue Sky. And after that,
and look Vesper, look what they're doing. They just sold TikTok. Oh, and look at the businesses that are buying them. It's buying.
Yeah, TikTok is an interesting case. It's a way for people to communicate quick bullet point political points, and a lot of people were getting out progressive messages about giant corporations, like about BlackRock and things like that, which I guess they didn't like, and they're coming up with conspiracies. So it's a Chinese, spy program and yada yada. But after that, Second Amendment is on the chopping block. Fascist dictators have always gone after people's guns, and they've already talked about it. They talked about restricting gun rights from trans people, and then on Newsmax they said against all Democrats. Like they'll start there, and then have all the crazy supporters have guns, all the MAGA freaks, and then if they get out of control, they'll take them away from them at some point. That's where I see it going.
Thank you, Vespa.
There's like nothing to stop it. There's nothing to stop it.
Thank you, Vespa. I think Justin wants to push back. Justin, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were trolling or not because it sounds like you were giving the Republican argument where, like, so for example, gun rights. In one sense, it's like, okay, well, Democrats don't want gun. They believe that you should have gun control or just take out the Second Amendment, and they say that Charlie Kirk died by the sword or he died by gun violence when he should have been opposing all guns. But our argument is this: if we take away guns from, I guess, citizens, take away the right for citizens to have guns, then only all the crazies will have it. All the ones who don't keep the laws will have guns, and we will be, of course, sitting ducks. Now, you're making the same argument, except for Republicans. You're saying, well, if we took away all the guns from Democrats because they don't want guns, then it's going to be left up to all the crazy Republicans. So it's like you don't see how you're making our argument, except you're just making a mirror. It's just the difference is you're the victim, and you don't see how we see ourselves as also a possible victim of the crazies of the left.
Justin, hold on a second. Vespa, I need you to meet up, please.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, only because I get feedback. I'll get back to you in a second. Justin, let me ask you a question. You think if Charlie Kirk survives that assassination, he gets shot, but he survives, he'd still be such a big proponent of the Second Amendment?
Yeah, of course. Why not?
Because he just got shot in the neck. I don't think he'd be a proponent of the Second Amendment.
Well, okay, that's like saying the person got shot by the police, therefore we should take away all guns from police.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's not at all the same. No.
Well, it's the same logic because the reasoning. Okay, so the reasoning is that gun violence. There's like a certain amount of people that died because of gun violence, but we also protest police violence and police abuse. They kill us with guns. Should we use the same logic that, hey, if we took away all the police force, or at least took away their weapons, we would save more lives?
No, because you're not attributing police and doing something in the line of duty. You can't equate that to someone that decided to go bonkers and kill somebody. It's not the same argument.
Right, so you can't equate that to a person who has a gun and is not crazy.
You know what I find, and I'm going to be 100%. I'm going to assume you're a conservative from the things you've said, and that's fine. Like I said, it's fine. I don't care. But I find the deflection that both party uses when you bring something up it's mind-boggling to me. I asked you a very direct question, and you went on some tangent about policing the guns. Apples have nothing to do with pineapples, bro. I just asked you if you got shot and if you survived the assassination attempt. I'm pretty sure after getting shot in the neck, you're going to change your mind on guns. Because if you don't, then you got a serious mental illness.
Well, okay, so then why wouldn't I change my mind on police, like, I guess, police officers? Like, they should have weapons.
Have they shot you?
Well, they shot other people.
Okay. Thank you, Justin. I'm going to go to TS. TS, how you doing?
I want no one to escape.
TS, are you there? No. Adrian, how you doing, Adrian?
What's going on?
How you
I'm doing all right. Just been watching football.
I feel that the First Amendment is dead. What do you think?
Nope. I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. I think people are being a little too hyperbolic about it and, hyperventilating about this shit in the moment. I don't think it's dead. Why do you think it's dead?
Because if you say anything against Charlie Kirk, you're going to be canceled. You could lose your job. You could lose everything. That's why.
That's not true. In a time where both sides are coming to an agreement that we should tone down the violent political rhetoric and stuff like that, which I agree. I mean, why are people out here anti?
Wait! Time out, Adrian. When you say both sides, the president just the other day came out and said that the far left lunatics, and he threw gasoline on that fire. He's a leader on that side.
He didn't indict every Democrat. He didn't do that. And as Democrats, there are calling for toning down the rhetoric, which I agree with them. People are coming to the middle and saying, yo, y'all, this shit has gotten way out of control, which I think everyone should agree that this shit has gotten way out of control. But it's a whole nother thing when a lot of people are calling for more violence. They literally got a hit list of people on the right who they want to see dead. Like, I don't hear no one condemning that shit. I don't hear not a single person condemning that shit. And why is that?
I haven't heard the left call for anybody to be killed. I'm not saying you're not saying what you're saying is not true. I just haven't heard it.
They have a whole website where they're doing it. It's called Blue Sky.
Oh, okay. I gotta tell you, I've heard a lot of crazy shit on Twitter.
And one thing we know about the First Amendment is that it does not cover calling for violence. Inciting violence and calling for the death of people. The First Amendment does not cover that shit. And if you're out here calling for that type of stuff, then absolutely you should not be trying to hide behind the veil of First Amendment rights, because that's not what it's for. You should be punished.
So if I come on this app and I say, which I never would, but I'm just going to use that as a hypothetical. I wish Joe Schmo from Idaho would get run over by a tractor trailer, and I hope he dies. Should I be canceled?
Oh, hey, freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences.
Okay, but the question was, I'm not saying I'm going to do it to him. I'm just saying I hope it happens to him. Is that still freedom of speech?
That's still freedom of speech. Yeah, that's still freedom of speech. You're not calling for people to take action upon somebody. You're saying just your own personal wish, and that is, yeah.
Right.
And hate speech is also allowed.
Yeah, of course it is. But here's the thing. So when people criticize Charlie Kirk, they get canceled, right?
You can criticize them.
Okay, but they can't because they're losing their jobs because of it.
But he lost his life. What are we talking about? This man lost his life because of his words.
I'm not.
Baby, what are you saying right now? Do you know what stochastic terrorism is?
Do I know what is?
Stochastic terrorism.
No, what is it?
Stochastic terrorism is when people are calling or advocating for the death of someone and calling others to go and do it. But they're not outright saying it. They're just making an insinuation for people to go and do it, for someone to go and do it. It's like...
So wait, let me ask you this. If somebody comes on on my stage right now, and they just happen to say, "Hey, I'm glad he got killed because he was a racist." Is that not free speech, or should they lose their jobs?
That's your opinion. That's your opinion. Nobody's getting canceled for their opinion. People are getting canceled because they're goddamn out here calling for violence. People are getting canceled from their jobs because they're letting their political bias get in the way of performing a duty at their jobs, like the Kinko's incident. These people went in there and wanted a Charlie Kirk flyer.
Adrian,
and the worker
there's
said,
so many people. Adrian, there's so many people losing their livelihoods because of an opinion. And I don't. And let me tell you something, bro. I'm talking about doctors, nurses, school teachers. Now, teachers shouldn't be talking about this to their students, but they should be just as protected as anybody else. And
nurses should. Nurses should.
If a nurse comes on and says, "You know what? I'm glad he got killed. He was a racist. Why should she lose her job?"
What the hell? What if I come in there and I'm a Trump supporter? Am I going to be? I mean, I'm worried about my nurse's political bias about who the fuck I voted for. Now she's giving me fucked up ass service. Hell yeah, I think these people, bro, JB, what are we saying right now?
Bro, I'm saying you're a hypocrite. That's what I'm saying.
I have to interject. I need to interject.
I'm not a hypocrite.
Adrian, just give me 1 second and I'm going to give you the mic right back. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I just have to say something. Because I'm really confused by how this conversation is unfolding. Most of everybody on this app, in this room, I'm not going to say everybody on this app, but for the past week, we've been in and out of rooms about Charlie Kirk, where folks have been saying, he said this, that, and the other, he was killed over it, oh well, he was killed over his words. And now we feel some way because folks are getting fired over, a man lost his life over his words, freedom of speech. And we're feeling some way because people are getting fired over words. Hey, at least they're still alive. Are y'all serious? Like, what's happening? We're offended because people are losing their job and a man lost his life. Like, what's going on?
And that's the point. Because if I voted for Donald Trump, I should not have to worry about if my nurse have a fucking political bias against the person that I goddamn voted for. And now she's potentially going to harm me.
Wait, hold on, Adrian. So God forbid, and I'm being serious, God forbid you had to go to the emergency room tonight, right? They take you over to the emergency room. Are you going to, on that gurney, turn around and say to your doctor, "Hey, wait a second, before you operate on me, are you Republican?"
They literally did that shit.
They're professionals, bro.
JB, they literally did that shit during COVID. They denied people services and life-changing goddamn services, right? Just because they wasn't vaccinated.
Wake that
part up. What are we talking about here, Jay? What are we talking about, JB? People were denied surgeries because they weren't vaccinated.
And some people weren't allowed to go to work because they weren't getting vaccinated.
Wake it up.
JB, I think you're being a hypocrite right now while you're sitting here calling people.
Not personal decisions, that protocol.
A lot of people lost because they didn't want to get vaccinated.
Well, let me talk for a minute, Adrian, then I'll hand the mic back to you. Because you can laugh all you want, and you can be the biggest Trump supporter. I really don't care. But here's the deal. If you really want a COVID conversation, the buck stops at President Trump, right? He fucked up this country. He shut us down. He put a lot of things into place that fucked a lot of people up. So, instead of pointing at Biden or Kamala or anybody else, let's start at the top, and that was Donald Trump. We couldn't have had a worse leader at a worse time to lead this country. In my opinion, I don't give a shit what anybody says. You want to come with stats and this and that. Donald Trump fucked this country up. And you want to talk about debt? Where are we at in debt now because of Donald Trump, because of COVID? So you couldn't have had a worse person at a worse time to be president. But I'm not going to have that COVID conversation. That's for a different room.
All right, let's not have the COVID conversation. But JD, you gotta admit, Donald Trump didn't have COVID his whole entire term.
That's a lie.
Yes,
that's
he
a lie.
did.
He had it. Almost killed him.
No, he did.
It almost killed him. What are you guys talking about?
Oh my God, are y'all?
You want to bet? Wait, you want to make a bet he had COVID?
And
No,
wait,
that's
how
not
much?
what I'm
How
saying.
much? Y'all,
No,
y'all.
wait. Nah, that's not what I'm saying. JB, that's not what I'm saying. Donald Trump had COVID for a year. Biden took over after he gained the presidency. That's what I mean. He had COVID.
Oh,
Not
okay.
he physically had the disease. I'm talking about Donald Trump dealt with COVID,
Thank
the
you for the clarity.
pandemic, for a year,
Adrian,
and Biden took over.
Adrian.
What are we saying here, y'all?
So let me ask you a question, Adrian. Do you think that COVID no longer exists, and that people aren't dying from it anymore? Like, do you
I
believe?
still see people saying they're getting COVID. So there you go.
Perfect. So, like, what's the difference besides that Trump opened everything back up?
Hey, that's not the conversation. We're talking about people being politically biased in jobs where they should not be politically biased.
Oh, my fault. I thought we were allowed to ask other questions.
No. Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
I'll stop asking you a question.
So wait, because they're a doctor or a lawyer or a nurse, they're not allowed to have any feelings about what goes on in our country?
They shouldn't let that affect their job.
How is it affecting their job because they made a statement?
I literally just gave you an example, JB. If I'm a Trump supporter and I'm coming in for triage, and your ass is a goddamn nurse or a doctor who voted on the left, guess what? They're letting their political bias. What if their political bias comes into goddamn play?
Bro, that's so much,
And because I
Adrian,
voted for Donald
respectfully, Adrian, I like you, man, but there's so much cap in everything you're saying. I don't think a doctor, doctor's checking your voter registration card as he's wheeling you into the operating room.
And I literally just said people were denied services because they weren't vaccinated. This is how we got here, JB. Why did I not just say that, Rue?
Why wouldn't they be, though? Why wouldn't you delay or deny someone care during a deadly disease in a hospital? Think about that.
Get out of here.
I just know they were because they refused the vaccine. They were denied life-saving surgeries. How did y'all miss this whole narrative during COVID? How did y'all miss people talking about?
Because they're cherry picking.
That's crazy, Adrian. What is going on?
They're cherry picking right now, and they hate to be called out on it. They're literally cherry picking their narrative.
Wait. You think somebody should be able to spread a deadly disease throughout a hospital?
That's not what the conversation is about.
You didn't say they had COVID.
They're not going to answer questions unless it supports their narrative.
For not getting the vaccine. It would be like, hey, I need open heart surgery. Did you get the COVID vaccine? No.
Well, they could be.
Wait a second.
They could be asymptomatic carriers.
Everybody mute up, please. Oh, this is crazy. Because for anybody to sit here and say that a nurse is not going to perform her duty because you're a Democrat or a Republican is so asinine. I don't even know what the hell you people are talking about. It's ridiculous. Adrian, hold on. Let me finish, man. Because that is so ridiculous. I'm not going back to COVID and what the rules were then. Who established those rules in the first place? That would be Donald Trump. So hold on. Please let me finish, Justin. Thank you. But this whole narrative, because some Democrat nurse went on Twitter and said she felt Charlie Kirk was a racist and she didn't give a shit that he died. She should lose her job? What are you guys talking about?
Yeah, she should lose her job. I would be scared for my life if I found out, especially people that know me on social media, or let's say she hear in conversation, I'm talking to somebody in my room, and then I admit or say that I'm a Trump supporter or whatever. She could be just in my room, know about that, have a conversation with her friends, and just say, you know what, I'm not going to give him the drug that he needs. You know what, I'm going to just start to add more of this.
You know what, shut the fuck up. Because I don't believe in the Easter Bunny or Santa Claus or any other bullshit. These hypotheticals, okay? It's all
you
bullshit,
literally
man.
was giving people
Adrian, hold on a
hypotheticals.
second. But listen. We have a few rules in this room, and there's not many. When I'm not speaking, please mute up and run my policy, okay? If she got fired for whatever if she said more than that, Bunny, fine. But what I'm saying here is there's other people that have said less than what you're going to say, and they've lost their livelihoods. I don't understand it because we want to play semantics and say, oh, she's a nurse and she's a Democrat, so I'm going to die in a hospital? Come on, we're better than that.
Because
JB,
it's not what happened. So she worked in a children's ward, and she said that Kirk's kids should have died as well. That's the problem. That becomes the conflict of interest. She openly stated that she thought.
So Bonnie,
her children
Bonnie, basically you're saying freedom of speech is subjective. I'm just curious.
We have to no. So here's the thing: employers can decide what they want their employees to do and or say on social media. These people sign contracts. Like even in the finance world, I know certain levels you're not allowed to have any social media whatsoever. So depending on the contracts that these people sign and what they're allowed to say and or do can affect their jobs directly. I, as an employer, am not required to hire somebody who's going to say things that are disparaging and go against my personal beliefs if it's my company. I don't have to come out of my wallet to pay for somebody that is going to say things that I don't agree with, and I made them sign a contract stating that they wouldn't go on social media or say public opinions in a certain manner. So in this instance, she directly called for death of children, and she worked in a children's ward. If you don't see the conflict of interest in that, I don't know what to tell you.
What I'd like to see is a link in the chat so I can see what you're talking about.
I was looking for it actually right before I came on. I'll try and find it.
Hey,
but
buddy,
here's the thing. So if she had, hold on one second. If she had just gone online and said, I don't care about Charlie Kirk and I don't see what the big fucking deal is, fine. Like, I would agree with you, but that line gets crossed when you say that someone's children, the children of a guy who just got killed, should also be dead or should have been killed as well. That's where, for me, definitely that's crossing the line. But yeah, I think anybody who just got fired because they're just like, oh, I don't like Charlie Kirk. Oh, I think Charlie Kirk is racist. Fine, that you can have your opinion. That's totally fine, whether it's informed or uninformed or whatever it is. But again, you cross that. It's like you can't yell fire in a movie theater.
Let me ask you a question.
You can't yell bomb in an airport.
If what you're saying is true, and I'm not saying it's not, I'll look at the link when you put it in the chat. If what you're saying is true, basically how I'm interpreting is that freedom of speech is not free. Hate speech should be covered because we hear the most heinous things on this app. Just fucking go in the Pepe's room and you'll hear the most heinous things. But that's okay. But this woman says one thing, she should lose her life. To me, it's hypocrisy. Not to anybody, not to you, Adrian, not to you, Bunny. To us as a society, it's hypocritical. You're right, Adrian. We are cherry picking.
And JB, a lot of places have what they call morality clauses and ethics clauses. A lot of these people are being fired because they're violating these clauses that they signed when they got hired. What she just said right there is a morality issue. I would not feel comfortable with a nurse like that overseeing my child in a NICU or something when she's calling for the death of innocent children. No, hell no. Get your ass up out of this field. You deserve to have your child taken away from you. I don't trust you.
I don't know if she deserves to have a child taken away, but I
said job.
Oh, job. I'm sorry. That's fine. Okay. Let me see the link and I'll look at it. But let me get to a new speaker. Hanson, how you doing, Hanson? Hanson,
hi. Hey, JD, how you doing? Good.
All right. Do you want to chime in?
Yeah.
So cash in your pink ticket, by the way.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, I will do. So I don't know why do we say that the free speech is under attack? I mean, or ending, and has free speech ended in America? I don't think so. The only thing that's kind of a remotely can be said is Charlie Kirk was assassinated because of his speech. His son is assassinated by an individual, possibly deranged or whatever, because of his speech, Charlie Kirk's speech, and he didn't like his speech and he killed him. But the thing is, the free speech is about government not meddle in people's speeches, not cracking down, forbidding people's speeches, not about something else. So it's about preventing government forbidding speeches and censoring people's speech. It is not about anything else. So I don't see anything in that realm occurring. So I don't see any the endangering free speech happening right now. And as for people having their jobs losing their jobs, it is up to the employer to make the decision. Employer can terminate his employees at any time at will. And unless you have signed a long-term contract, and then we have that stipulating how long tenure you'll have and what kind of violation you will have to commit in order to terminate the contract. And most contracts are at will. So the employer, even if the employer doesn't like your face, you can fire you. So the look of you, he can fire you. So it has nothing to do with the freedom of speech.
Thank you. That's it. I disagree with you 100%. But let me go to Certainty.
In what way?
Oh, hold on, I'll get back to you in a second. Certainty, how you doing? Because I skipped over him by accident. Certainty, how you doing, bro?
Read yourself.
Fantastic. My apologies. The mic is yours.
How you do? Shit, I don't even know where to start. Y'all said so much. I said that free speech is definitely dead. The reason I say it's dead is, I think it's been on its deathbed and needing to be resuscitated from the beginning because of this country. You can only be upheld by what you can prove, right? So there's plenty of folks who will lose a court case, right? And get the short end of the deal because they don't have proper representation, right? So regardless of any amendment, if you can't properly defend yourself, then what you say can be used against you. So yeah, I would say it's dead.
Okay, anyone in the room read the moral clause, the definition of the moral clause?
Make your point. What's the point?
Can I read it? Cool. A moral clause is in an employment contract allows an employer to terminate an employee if their off-duty conduct or actions within the scope of employment are deemed detrimental to the company's reputation or violate established ethical standards.
I didn't mention anything about employment.
People are out here.
Anything about employment, I only mentioned free speech.
So they are violating moral clauses that a lot of employers have in place for their employees. This is why a lot of these people are being fired. It has nothing to do with cancel culture.
Why did Jimmy Kimmel get fired?
Why did Jimmy Kimmel get fired? A lot of people ain't gonna believe this because they want to believe what they want to believe. A lot of people believe that Donald Trump had something to do with it. Wrong. For one, Jimmy Kimmel has been losing money, just like Colbert was doing, just like Joy Reid was doing, right? I think Seth Meyers is on his way out the door too, because late night TV talk shows, no one is paying attention to that I hate Donald Trump narrative any longer. That shit's been played out. They've been doing that shit for the last 10 years. People are tired of that shit. They've been losing money. So the network was already going to goddamn get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. It just so happened, hey, by the universe, this shit happened with Charlie Kirk. And instead of Jimmy Kimmel taking the high road, he goes out on his platform and still spouts misinformation about the shooter being MAGA. Even though all of this evidence that came out says otherwise. But he still went out there and did this shit. And the FEC got involved. And therefore, he lost his goddamn job. He was already on thin ice. This just
wait, let me Adrian, hold on, let me get some clarity. What was that, the FCC? Is that a federal agency by any chance?
Yes, Federal Communications. Yes, that's what FCC stands for.
And you don't think Donald Trump made a call to that chairman and said, hey, let's make some moves here?
Jimmy Kimmel was already out the door.
You guys, did you guys forget? Hold on. So ABC, did you guys forget they lost their defamation lawsuit that was brought forth by Trump? So they already have paid out millions of dollars of the debacle with George Stephanopoulos, whatever the fuck his name is. They already are like their shareholders, everything. They've already been penalized for defamation. The last thing they want is another lawsuit. They already lost the first one. think they lost 2 actually, but I know definitely 1. So yeah, ABC, they are going to scrutinize who does what down to the letter right now because they already lost a lawsuit. That's really what it boils down to. They lost money. They didn't win. So now they're going to make everybody cross their T's and dot their I's appropriately so they don't face another lawsuit. It's really that fucking simple.
Well, that's not the only thing, too, that's going on. There was also a merger that was supposed to happen between ABC and I think it's called Nexstar. Nexstar Tenga. They're like another major broadcasting company, and basically they said that when Jimmy Kimmel made the statement after that, they threatened the FCC threatened and said to ABC that if they didn't clear it up, that they could make that contract go away. They could make the merger go away. So basically, Jimmy Kimmel is the sacrificial lamb in order to save that merger. That's really why this is happening, to be honest, in my opinion.
Nothing to do with free speech. It's just a convenient scapegoat for people think they want to cherry pick. And I don't
say Trump is not involved, though. I can't say that because he is in bed with the head of the FCC, and he's the reason why he pushed this decision in order to basically compromise and blackmail ABC and say, listen, either you get rid of Jimmy Kimmel or this merger is going away, and ABC chose the merger. That's what happened. But to say that Trump is not involved at all is ridiculous. He did play a hand in this, for sure.
Can I ask people why they're defending a person that plays blackface?
Kirk, that gentleman, Charlie Kirk, I looked him up while y'all was speaking. He has said some vile and horrible stuff, and people who support him, whatever, that's your business or whatever. But at the end of the day, you can't sit here and say things to people. Should somebody lose their life? No, I don't think a man should get killed regardless of what they believe, whether that's political, religious, or etc. That's the first thing I will say. I don't condone somebody losing their life, and I don't condone violence and stuff like that, regardless of someone's political beliefs or other beliefs. So that's the first thing, that I would say. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of protests and things going on across this country. There's one coming up this weekend, some more No Kings protests, another protest coming up across the country, just simply because, one, maybe what has happened, but what Donald Trump has done as the president has not helped a lot of people. A lot of Republicans even are lashing out at, their people and lashing out at them and saying, hey, we didn't sign up for this. So these high prices, these tariffs, all these other things, a lot of Republicans are looking back and saying that this isn't it. And a lot of America is looking back and saying this is not it either. We have to find a better way. Donald Trump is not leading. He's leading us into high prices, leading us into an economy that's not working. Yes, ma'am.
You are throwing us all off the topic.
Just ran like a motherfucker.
I love you, but you are.
What is your original point?
I'm sorry.
Hey,
Why are
Brock.
people defending Jimmy Kimmel?
Trump told us
for
if the
blackface?
DNI read the U.S. Constitution and why her agency is violating U.S. laws. Also show her which programs and projects to dramatically cut funding.
Defending Jimmy
Do you think
Kimmel.
I'm defending her, Adrian?
I don't know. Are you?
No, I'm defending free speech.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But didn't he do blackface?
He won't do that. I'm not aware of that, but I mean, regardless if he did or not, this is bigger than Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, so I mean, for me, it's not about him. It's about like our government being able to control what we can and cannot say, and having that amount of power with the FCC. We've never seen a president have this amount of power over media. That's the issue.
Oh, that's a lot.
And that's it.
Out of school, guys.
Hold on a second. Sloan, you were trying to jump. Adrian, can you mute up? I get feedback.
Hey, mute my mic for me, please.
Gotcha. Sloan, go ahead, Sloan.
Yeah, I think it's true. It is bigger than Jimmy Kimmel. I want to make one quick point. I did look up who the head of the FCC was, and he was a Trump appointee, and one of the first things he did was to eliminate DEI hiring, which, you know, the whole idea with Biden, whether you like it or not, it was to create a more colorful administration throughout all of the federal government. And so when he was appointed, he's on Wikipedia, you can look up his history, and he had some really good decisions that he made with FCC in his history prior, but he did get rid of that, and he is a Trump supporter for sure. I would also say I hadn't heard about Jimmy Kimmel doing blackface. Okay, I'll look for it. I will say a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, when Jimmy Kimmel went on vacation, for that whole week, he gave the desk to Anthony Anderson, who was the actor from the TV show Blackish. And because of all the uproar and all the crazy decisions and executive orders that was coming down from the White House, you know, Anthony Anderson, he may be an actor, but he's a little bit radical. And so he had several civil rights leaders on. He had many people that were political. And Jimmy Kimmel gave up his desk intentionally to help support that voice and to allow that voice going forward. And I know that from knowing a couple of people. I don't know, you know, big people, but I do know people like in production, like production crew kind of people. And he did that. And he did that for Black folks in particular.
Can anyone look at my PCR?
I saw your PTR. I think it happens with both. It happens with both sides, Adrian. Tell me it doesn't. Stop it, man.
No. That's my point.
Zuckerberg, who basically, excuse my language, ladies, basically gives Trump a hand job every chance he gets. You know, they're all hypocrites. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on, Adrian. Let me get right back to you because Dope and Howard have been patiently waiting. Dope, how you doing, Dope?
I'm all right. Good.
You want to chime in? Yo, Kitty, I don't do drugs. Nice try, though. Okay, Dope.
Yeah. So if this is about Jimmy Kimmel, I think people, or just about the free speech in general, so the most focused on this late night comedian. I think the people that have been getting fired over their comments are not victims of, assaults on free speech, because like Hanson made, I think Hanson's not here anymore. Free speech is a right granted, or not even granted, it's protected by the government so that no government actions are able to stop you from speaking your mind freely and open to the public. You're not going to be going to jail because you said something that your governor doesn't want you to say. But that doesn't change the fact that inflammatory speech or inflammatory remarks made in public can get people to, disassociate from you. And that's just a natural result. Like if the morning after 9/11 someone was making 9/11 jokes and they got fired, no one would be feeling bad for them. Bill Maher actually did that before he had his current night show. I think he had another TV show, and he said something really stupid. He said the people who drove the planes into the World Trade Center had balls and they had courage, essentially, and he got axed because of that. Politically incorrect.
What'd you say?
Politically incorrect was the name of his show.
Yeah, politically incorrect, yeah. And he made a politically incorrect statement, which was very, it just wasn't a smart thing to say. You don't say that after 3,000 Americans got killed. So, and I don't think anybody felt bad for him, because that was just a dumb thing to say. Likewise here, if you see someone get shot in public, a politically motivated assassination, and then you're celebrating, you have no reason to be shocked when people want nothing to do with you. So that's just the reality of the situation.
Thank you, Dope. Appreciate your share. Howard, how you doing, Howard?
Hey, JB. Sloan and Nye. Always good to see you guys. Just a couple quick comments, and I'm not at all trying to get too technical, but I definitely, and I guess Hanson is gone, but he was, his point I felt was, he was making a point on employment, but the truth is, employment laws vary from state to state, and there are states that's right to work states, and there's other states that are not. There's also protected classes, based on age as an example. And then there's also, certain parts of employment are protected by union laws too that have been collectively bargained. So each situation is going to be different. And JB, just a minor technicality, Kimmel has not been fired. He's just been pulled off the air. And most likely he's still getting paid, but they made a decision to just not air and support that show anymore. And I think it was Alpha Glam. Your point's also really well taken that there is a potential acquisition merger that ABC's involved with, and it's not, and it is quite possible the FCC is putting their thumb on the scale. I'm not questioning that, but my understanding is it was also a group of affiliate stations that had the possibility of jeopardizing that deal, that they are so anti-Jimmy Kimmel that they were threatening that whole deal would fall apart. So you could see there's like a lot of different dimensions to this issue. And from my perspective, I could see someone in top brass, certainly like Bob Iger at Disney, make a decision and say, hey, I've got a responsibility to my shareholders and board with all this noise. I don't want this deal to break up. Therefore, here's the decision I'm making. And it's not to say that there hasn't been influence exerted by the FCC, but it may not be as simple as the FCC told them to do something and they're doing it. I guess those are just facts we're going to have to try to learn. And JB, I'll end my skylib there.
Thank you. Hold on, that's Pierre, and then I'll come back to you. Pierre, how you doing?
Hi, JB. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. The mic is yours.
Okay, and I'll try not to be long-winded, so I'll try to keep it relatively short. I'm just trying to see if I can look at the title. Yeah, so it was this whole thing with Kim with God, I lose my voice here. I'm really starting off. I'll just say this: a lot of the discussion about the First Amendment, free speech, and so forth. I think the biggest problem right now is the overlap of media. Here's what I mean by this: it's
government overreach?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, yeah. It's something different when I mean, we've had comedians, you know, be on the edge. That's, in fact, to be honest, that's almost the definition of comedy these days. You are making comments, and what we've never seen is gone from making comments to, and there was a period where people had to apologize for certain things and that type of stuff, but part of that apology came from jokes that were no longer just on maybe limited to or a location. You now have jokes and stuff that's spread online and people can respond to it. And now you have a president where he embodies a lot of these different elements. And I think that makes it very difficult to have these sort of free speech moments where you feel like you can say something without having a response to it. So yeah, I to your question, my short answer is yeah, I think there's overreach here.
Thank you very much, Peter. I appreciate you.
Thanks for letting me speak, JB.
Of course, you're always welcome, man. Please cash in your pink ticket. Vesper, you wanted to jump in?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out, like, how these free speech absolutists are suddenly in favor of hate speech and cancel culture, the things they've demonized. That's why you can say that they're attacking the First Amendment, which protects, includes hate, quote unquote, hate speech, you know. All I've seen people say is like they didn't think he was a good guy. I don't see them inciting violence or anything like that, like the right has done. They're out there saying this is civil war, this is war, you know, all these accounts saying the shooter was trans and everything.
Vesper, give me two examples of the right calling for violence.
It's all over like libs of TikTok, you know, they jumped all over that. All these accounts on X and stuff like that. But you know, Trump is out there politicizing it and saying, it's the radical leftists, you know. When we know that it was a Graper, Nick Fuentes fan, right? We know that now.
No, we don't know that. Because all of that, did you not watch the press conference?
You mean the fake transcript they released?
Oh, here we go. Now it's fake. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
So 100% fake. What the authorities are saying is fake, and what you're saying is real.
It's obviously fake.
All right, cool. See, this is a prime example of people spinning their own narratives because it plays in their favor. Like,
I mean, okay, y'all. You think they're being forthcoming with the Epstein files?
I don't know. Are you being forthcoming?
You think we have an honest government with Trump, who's a historian?
I don't know you from a can of paint. Why should I trust anything that you say?
I'm talking about the Trump administration, like, lying consistently.
And you're not lying?
No, I'm not lying.
How am I to know that you're not lying?
I'm telling you, it looks obviously fake.
Because you give me your word?
I'm just telling you my impression. You can take it for what it's worth.
Exactly. So, what if I say your word don't mean spit, and what you're saying is
you're taking statements from the Trump administration as
you literally just said he was a girl.
As gospel truth.
What you're saying is gospel truth, right?
No, I'm just saying there's reasonable reason to doubt it. There's a good reason to doubt it.
People think their words are more valuable than anybody else because they're saying, like, yo, what the hell are we doing right here, y'all?
I'm talking about evidence.
You don't have any evidence.
I don't have evidence that the Trump administration lies repeatedly.
JB just asked you for 3 examples, and you couldn't even give 3.
It's all over the social media. People calling for calling for violence, calling for war against the civil war.
Point out the people who was literally cheering that Donald Trump got shot.
Cheering when Trump got shot?
I think y'all missing that. The English language, it will not trump authority.
Investors, though, you're saying that we can't trust the multitudes. This guy was clearly, left-wing said that Charlie Kirk was spreading hate, and his parents said that he was going in a more left-wing direction in the last year or so. So, what do you think that makes him? You think that makes him
because he's pro LGBT or something, right?
Yeah.
Pro trans. That's why they said that.
He said Charlie Kirk was hateful.
Yeah, towards trans people, particularly.
Okay. So, do you think that makes him a groiper?
So Nick Fuentes is a bisexual or gay, and he has trans lovers and stuff.
Man, get out of here! Get out of here, bro! What are you talking we doing, man? This dude,
he's literally gone to had meals with femboys or.
All right, do you think groipers are pro-trans? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. You just don't know what you're talking about.
It's within their group. They're pro-trans.
Okay, all right, cool. So, do you think groipers would make a meme saying "Hey, fascist catch" and then assassinate a right winger for being a quote unquote fascist?
Yeah, it's a reference from the game that they play, Helldivers 2.
I think you're just in denial.
They literally use games like that to recruit young people.
So you think groipers are pro-trans and they are opposed to fascism?
Like the Bella Ciao Ciao thing is an anti-fascist song, but they use it ironically in the game.
Okay, so what do you think is more likely? A pro-trans person hates Charlie Kirk for spreading hate and has been framed as being more left in the last year and calls Charlie Kirk a fascist and chants an anti-fascist and promotes an anti-fascist chant on a bullet to shoot him. Do you think he's more likely left-wing radical or a groiper?
He's a groiper. Trump calls leftist fascists. That makes no sense either.
I think you're just delusional.
You ever heard Trump call the left fascists?
I think you're delusional.
If you're not, you're gonna find out that I'm right.
Like, what are we saying? What do you think the word Antifa stands for? What do you think that stands for?
He's not Antifa.
What do you think Antifa stands for? That is
anti-fascist.
Okay, cool. You haven't been seeing Antifa on the right, you have.
He's not Antifa.
I mean, y'all see what's happening here? It's every time.
You're saying he called Charlie Kirk a fascist. Where did he call him that?
He called it a bad, pretty shit.
In the transcript, that's fake. In the fake transcript,
the bullet said "Hey, fascist catch."
Wait, let me ask you a question. Why do you think the transcripts are fake? Give me evidence, not just a guess.
There's lots of reasons. Like, it's basically incriminating himself. He's saying, I left the gun here, and saying like, oh, they caught the wrong guy, you know? It wasn't that guy, it was that second guy. How would he even know about that in the heat of things? Who the media, like, who they release capture. There's a lot of weird stuff in there.
So you think he's being set up?
He had been out of
Don't just hold on 1 second.
They're desperate to control the narrative in order to like win the midterm elections and stuff.
Do you think he was set up?
Who set up?
The shooter.
No, he did it on his own.
Okay. But do you think there's some kind of government conspiracy to convict him?
No, I mean, he did the thing, but he thought he was like trying to protect Trump.
All right, listen, I had a movie, dude. I mean, I'm all about civil discourse, civil dialogue, but I have no idea what you're talking about, A. B, it makes no sense. You see, this is the thing that blows my mind with both sides. You guys dig in your heels, and that's all that matters is your side. You know, and that's to some of you guys on the stage right now. It's like nobody wants to have an objective conversation. It's like, that's it. I'm a Democrat, so this is the way it works. Oh, that's it. I'm MAGA, Pierre, and that's it. Get Pierre, you want to chime in?
I just want to say, I sort of get what the gentleman was trying to get at in some ways. There's still pieces of this narrative that, and even from what's being done, I don't think conspiracy necessarily. I just think there's things that just aren't making a lot of sense in some ways. If he was radicalized, the thing that he was radicalized, for example, they're mentioning Discord that I think instead of looking at pieces of what this young man, Tyler, what's been said about for Tyler, I think there's this sort of, I'm not going to say they're tangential, they're still important because it comes from his family and from his partner. But Tyler also reportedly has been resisting a little bit, and I think there's still pieces to the puzzle of the motive. I think that still needs to be worked out. And I think the gentleman who was up here, I think that's really kind of what he was trying to get to.
What I think he was trying to get to Pierre respectfully was that his side couldn't have possibly done it. That's what it sounded like to me.
I hear you, but I think that's crazy. What is going on?
I'll say this: if this kid was radicalized on Discord, boy, that's not good because you got this racist piece of shit Pepe who has 150,000 followers on Discord, and I can see him being radicalized and doing something stupid.
Yeah,
but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I hear you. I just think it's the timeline also felt a little short to me. There's something else here, but I'm one of those people that usually I will sit and listen to see what else comes out as well. It's because for me politics is something that you sort of the needle. Everyone has left and right, what have you, but they're left and right. They're liberal, conservative for a specific topic or area or something of interest. And I'm not quite getting that piece of it from this story, at least not yet. At least just for my.
Thank you, Peter. So let me answer your question, Vesper. You see my co-host here, Miss NY?
Yeah.
She's very patient. If you tell her you have evidence that the Easter Bunnies exist, she'll go down that rabbit hole with you. I, on the other hand, have very low patience. So I'm just being honest with you. I didn't understand anything you were saying, and it just sounded like you're digging in your heels and you don't want to hit on the side. But if I offended you, I apologize.
I mean, if I don't have the evidence off the top of my head, doesn't mean doesn't exist, you know? I don't have memorize everyone who said everything on X. But I got a screenshot of it for sure.
Hold on, Investment. Sir, you got it.
David, quick question. So, you seem like a real reasonable individual to me. For the 5 years we've been discussing things on this app. I hear you say a lot that, you're not into going down a rabbit hole, and you're not into conspiracy theories. So I have a question for you. Have you heard of MK Ultra before?
Yes, and I don't believe in Sasquatch, but go ahead.
Okay. The reason I asked you if you've heard of MK Ultra, I'm not going to sit here and explain to you what it is. I'm sure if you've heard of it, you know what it is. My last question to you is, do you think it's possible that when certain situations occur, our government, which has documented, in which it has been documented in multiple operations, to use MK Ultra to neutralize threats of human intelligence or things of that nature, do you think that those events possibly happen right in front of our eyes?
Probably every day we don't even realize it.
I agree. Okay, cool.
That's as far as down the rabbit hole I go. Guys, we're going to go popcorn style. There's a one mic policy. Just let the person finish, and then you can jump in. Yes, sir.
No, I was going to say same here. Like, for me, I feel like in the last decade, people have been throwing out that conspiracy theory stuff, and it really keeps people from really, doing the research. And for me, if I can do the research and connect the dots, I can literally put together the dots. It's not a theory anymore, But if I can't connect, for instance, Antarctica is a block of ice, right? I have no proof other than a few operations and the Antarctic treaty, what the government tells us, of anything else. So anything else I say about Antarctica is a damn theory. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something. Here's the conspiracies I look into. The latest one is, where are those Epstein files? Why don't they release them?
Okay, wake that up, honey.
Why don't they release those unredacted in its entirety so we can see what's really going on. But did you notice, since that firestorm of Epstein files, all these other things have been, Charlie Kirk's been murdered, the young lady in Charlotte was murdered on I believe it was a train. All these deflections off. Nobody talks about Epstein anymore. Why is that? There's one conspiracy certainty we can talk about. Here's another one. John F. Kennedy was killed by the government. I have no doubt in my mind. I don't have evidence. You know why? Because they don't release the evidence. I'm just going on what I've seen and the little dots I've put together. But there's my two conspiracies.
I mean, a lot of these are from JFK. When it comes to the Epstein files, a lot of people do not want the victims' names out there. But I can say, I forget his name. Is it Massey or something? But one of them went on who the fuck? Well, they did something yesterday or the day before where they were calling out high-profile people that was in the Epstein file. He said it was a magician, a royal prince, it was two businessmen.
Oh, at the Capitol, yeah.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah. With Patel.
Yeah, he was saying that. He was out here and he didn't say their names, but he gave you the profile of some high-profile people that were or are actively involved in the Epstein shit.
Well, Adrian, all you gotta do is Google Epstein flight logs, and you'll see who was on the Lolita Express, right? You got the Clinton, you got Trump, you got Tom Hanks, you got what's the comedian? What's the comedian that retired but he came back? Was it Dave Chappelle?
DK?
No, not Dave Chappelle. Who was in Rush Hour?
Oh, Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker was on there. Kevin Spacey was on there. Right? So all you gotta do is go right now, Google the flight logs of the Epstein Lolita Express, and you'll see all the famous names you want.
You know, Trump is currently at Windsor Palace right now with the king. And, you know, it's very interesting. They were talking about it on MSNBC last night about how there was a protest as soon as he arrived yesterday where somebody had a projector of the letter that he gave Epstein for his birthday, and they put it up on one of the buildings at Windsor while he was there sleeping last night. And then also, like, they were talking about how, you know, Prince Andrew, he's not allowed, I guess, like, their version of a punishment to him for the whole Epstein thing. His involvement was to sit him down from a role that he was already sitting down on. I don't know, like, what that was about. But he also cannot participate in dinners or any type of meetings when they have the royal family meetings at the castle. But they were saying how it's interesting that you won't allow Andrew to be there, and now you won't allow the London, I forget his name, the guy that's like the liaison between the UK and the US.
He got fired.
Yeah, he got fired, but yet you're letting Trump, who Epstein said has been his close friend for 10 years, sit at the table with the king.
Well,
that was wild.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna hold Trump to that standard, all right, cool. How about we hold King Charles to that same standard? Him and his close relationship with Jimmy Savile.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, like, we can't hold one person to a certain set of standards by letting the others on the other side of the table skate. Because if they're going to throw up that letter of him to Epstein, then let's highlight the unusual relationship or the unsavory relationship of King Charles and Jimmy Savile.
But I think that's the irony that his own brother was involved with Epstein as well. That was the point. Because you literally have isolated your brother as a result of this politically and, you know, familiarly. And now, but you still have Trump sitting at your table who has also been involved with Epstein. It's just, that's the thing that people are pointing out. So no one's saying that Trump is alone. We're saying that it's just ironic that it's not what's good for the goose ain't good for the gander, clearly.
Well, I'll say
there's no way we're gonna ever be able to use elements inflammatory vocabulary to attack authority.
I want tonight, thank you. But I'll say this. Two of the people that were the spearheads of this, right? Jeffrey Epstein hung himself in a jail, which in that prison, that whole facility is nearly impossible to do, but he did it, right? And Virginia Giuffre, the biggest spokeswoman for victims, who cashed in, I think it was close to $30 million, she wound up suiciding herself too. Coincidence? Nah, you there, Nye? Nye?
No, I'm here.
I was wondering if you fell asleep on me. We were talking about Epstein.
Did you guys see the stuff from today with Kash Patel going to a hearing and getting grilled?
I thought that was yesterday.
Or was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday, because I remember the segment with him and Booker going back and forth.
Maybe it's multi-day hearing, I don't know.
Well, Nye, Vesper, please meet up. Thank you. Nye, you there?
Yes.
It's been another great room. I'm out of here like Batman's underway.
It's really been a terrible room.
I'm sorry that we had disagreements today.
Obviously, it's a waste of time.
It was something on social media.
She said that I saw it on TikTok. That's what I saw it on. But I also said I can't confirm or deny it. But I heard that. I saw that on TikTok.
Niggas never got the information. Let me look it up.
I heard something about, they said something about that
Shirley down the street.
Yeah, you look it up and it be a Samsung.
Her son has said that if she turned in her 13,
you be all excited and you go and they be like,
then you can get $1,000. That's what Shirley down the street said.
Oh, well, I didn't know.
Her son said,
what about pictures like that?
maybe they looked wrong and it was 110. They added a zero. Shirley said it. Shirley said her son said it. She's right. Dude, I've got a freaking 6, 8, 11, 12, and 14 that I'm be turning in. That way I can get a little bit off my next phone. And an iPad Air 2.
I don't see anything else about it, bro.
Must have been a poo-poo.
Carrier poke.
Yeah.
I don't know what Starlink. What is this thing going on with the iPhone 13 Pro Max to be specific? They say the iPhone 13 Pro Max is the last iPhone that doesn't have a Starlink on it. I don't know what Starlink is. I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max. So when I heard about this, my ears was like, oh, well, 13 Pro Max is the best iPhone out? You don't say. I've been saying to myself that I was going to take this iPhone to the grave with me. I'm like, I'm finna use this phone and have this phone until it don't cut on no more. And when it don't cut on no more, I'm taking it to Apple or whoever, and I'm going to tell them to do something and try to fix it to get them to turn it back on. I'm not getting rid of my phone. I only said I wasn't going to get rid of it because it's been paid off for so long. But now, I'm definitely not going to get rid of it. They offering 2 bands. I think they offering like 2 bands for these iPhone 13s. I'm like, yeah. I don't know. My plan was to get another phone, but keep my phone because I want a phone specifically for content and then for phone calls, emails, and all other stuff and whatnot. Text messages and all that. They really think they slick.
Moses believes that's more incorrect, number one. Number two, the Old Testament of the Bible is very clear. Daniel 9, there will be an end to sacrifice, right? Daniel 9 literally predicts this. Daniel 9.
Can you get to the part where you said the Jews who have a religion are the synagogue of Satan? Can you get to that?
This will all come back Messiah comes and that the Messiah will die before the second temple is destroyed. There will be an end to sacrifice. Mysteriously, there seems to be only one person that fits that characteristic. But even so, let's say Jesus is the Messiah. Well, he had to have come before the year 70 AD, which is before the second temple was destroyed, and there should be an end of sacrifice after that. I still see rabbinic Jews running around trying to do their weird sacrificial rituals to cope. Why? Because like Dr. Responsible said, their religion is over. Once the Messiah comes, their religion is over. Once the second temple is destroyed, there is no more sacrifice. They're trying to cope with the fact that they know who exactly their Messiah is, but they don't want to acknowledge that. Now, what Moses...
Can I
no, I'm not done. What Moses... Yeah, I'm not done, dude. What Moses...
All right, I'm going to go next.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, motherfucker, then what the fuck?
What Moses practiced and what the prophets practiced is what we call Second Temple Judaism. Now, what you don't seem to understand is that there were many strands of Second Temple Judaism. There is only one correct strand of Second Temple Judaism, which acknowledges that which I said earlier, that the Messiah would die for the sins of all of humankind, Isaiah 53, before the second temple is destroyed, and that there will be an end to sacrifice. That strand of Second Temple Judaism, that is the only correct strand, is Christianity. All the other ones are various copes and various heresies that can't wrestle with this idea that the guy that they killed is who their Messiah was.
Can I ask you a question, dog? Like, because you say Christianity as though...
I could just quickly finish this. You can ask.
All right, bro. All right, my bad. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, he don't like that. So
I just need to finish.
He's almost done, and then you guys can ask us if you've ever heard this before.
Exactly. Now, the cope that the worst of these strands made, i.e., the Pharisees and the Sadducees, is to create what we call today Second Temple Judaism. Now, what does this have to do with why the synagogue of Satan is, in fact, all rabbinic Jews and not just the Pharisees and Sadducees of today? God does not judge people based on lineage. God does not judge people just on being born one which way or another. God judges people based on beliefs. Now, God, like you mentioned, called the Pharisees and the Sadducees of his day the synagogue of Satan, those who claim that they are Jews, but they are not, for they do lie. Which people today believes in the exact same things, the exact same ideologies, and in fact takes their entire religion. I like how when we're being academic, people don't like to listen, and takes their whole religious identity and worldview exactly from the Pharisees and Sadducees of the Pharisees and Sadducees in Jesus Christ's day. Those people today are known as rabbinic Jews. Everything that
out there, only are you done, Pastor? Let's make sure you're done.
I'm not done. Everything that
before you, let's make sure that don't interrupt him, Pastor. How much time would you say you need?
Only 5 seconds.
Wait,
5 minutes?
you need 5 minutes? No, that's crazy.
I said 5 seconds. You're not listening.
So is it 5 seconds? You said?
I said 5 seconds.
Yo, let that nigga.
No, but don't do too much. I hear you, bro. He's talking, but we want to be fair.
Yeah. So let him finish. Bro,
he's going for a while.
I literally said.
I mean, you've been going for a minute, bro. I know, but
he packing that nigga.
Let him. He's not cooking at all.
Let him go. He just saying. It's all good. It's all good. He opening up the conversation.
Fucking backwards.
No. I need him to say this.
This is what happens when Antifa.
I need him to say this. It's cool. Luca. It's cool. Let him finish. Y'all. Don't let him finish. It's all right.
Stop from your mission.
To finish off, everything that the Pharisees and Sadducees believed and codified as a religion are found in one religion today, and that religion is called Rabbinic Judaism. Thus, if the Pharisees and Sadducees are the synagogue of Satan, Rabbinic Jews are.
Mic drop. Yeah, all right. So niggas don't got shit to say now. Where you at, Luca? Bitch.
I was about to ask a question, but you started.
No. Go ahead. Ask your question, because I want to add on to what he was saying. But go ahead.
You may have. I was gonna come from a place of criticism. I feel like you may come from a place of like constructive building. Am I wrong, Kendo? Or
no? Yeah, you. Well, then let me go. All right. So what people don't understand about the second temple and like the Talmud is actually Babylonic origins. So when the second temple fell, right, we go to the people of Babylon where the Jews actually congregated and actually put that together. Its origin is not of the Levant. And so, you know, a lot of what Ralph actually was saying was showing that this is a false origin, this Talmud, which a lot of people will label it the synagogue of Satan. And now you can, like, you know, skull and all of that stuff and stuff like that, and that's cool. But if we look at the scribes of that time, who actually was pushing for the Romans to destroy the second temple, so that they gain power, you know, that's a whole nother thing. Remember, a lot of this stuff was politics too back in the days. And, you know, there were certain people who wanted to see a certain people out of the way so they could gain power and actually use some of these constructs, which Jesus actually preached about how corrupt the temple was, and that corruption only moved. Go ahead.
No. I mean, I guess it sounds like you were about to finish. I'm gonna let you.
No, I'll finish. The kind of like properly, I just want to say that the properly kind of assess what people looked at and what the laws looked at the time for like the Israelites. You would go to the people who were preaching before the downfall. So you would look at Peter and the things that he said, and you know, the Corinthians that he was talking to.
I wasn't putting the slow disagree.
No, but I mean, you can. What you was saying?
Yeah, shout out to Corinth. I was putting the skull face because I said what you said. So
no,
the Corinthians.
In like 10 seconds, what
made a valid
say?
My bad. Go ahead, bro.
The city of prostitutes. Sorry, I just want to wrap it up. So in total, and I've never talked to this other gentleman before. I've heard his voice a few times, but we're not like in concert with one another. But what I've learned as coming from someone who used to be a Protestant person that believed that everything I did had to protect the Jews and the state of Israel, what I've learned is that, in particular, modern day Judaism is not the same thing as Moses practiced it or that the Hebrews practiced for all the time period we know with the Bible. It's not the same thing.
We're all on board with that.
Okay. So after Jesus came and fulfilled many prophecies, you don't even have to believe that he was the true Messiah, but he did a good enough job to convince a good enough people that he was, that after that happened, the leadership, not Jewish people, I'm not saying Jewish people are evil or anything like that, but the leadership had to come up with some way in which they could still hold their community together. In fact, in some ways, it might have actually been well-intentioned to hold this community of people together, right? But they had to do something. And what I'm saying is that modern-day Judaism, Talmudic Judaism, Rabbinical Judaism, is in effect 100% a coping mechanism for killing the Messiah, Jesus Christ, and a way to keep this group of ethnically similar people together under the leadership of the same people who have always led it, which is the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the upper level intellectual leadership of the Jewish/Hebrew community. And so they came up with what we call Judaism, where they don't sacrifice, they don't practice all of the laws of the covenant that they originally were given under Abraham, Isaac,
and Jacob, they came up with new ways. They said, you know what? God is being so silly. We don't need to sacrifice with the blood of an animal the way he taught us. We're going to do some like prayer beads. We're going to come up with some other ways. Like instead of that, we're going to give money to poor people. We're going to make some prayer beads. We're going to come up with another book that we're going to go through, like a little diary. And all of it together is a coping mechanism. And I'll shut up.
To add to what Dr. Responsible said, see, if you read the Torah, and this is the issue a lot of people make, the basis of Christianity is the Old Testament. There's nothing we do in the New Testament, just a fulfillment of that which was revealed in the Old Testament. But if you read the Torah, you'll understand that the center of true Judaism, i.e. what Moses and the other prophets practiced, right, was the temple. Without the temple, there is no Judaism. Now, like I said, the prophet Daniel predicts, he prophesies there will be an end to sacrifice, right? And this will happen when the Messiah comes. The Romans, as God willed it, were very thorough in their destruction of the temple. What did they do? Not only did they destroy the temple, but they also burned the lineages of the priests, right? Now, why is this relevant? The priests must come from the Levites, specifically the Aaronic line, specifically from the line of the Zadokites, right, who were loyal to David. The Romans made sure to burn all those lineages, root and stem, so that the Judeans would have absolutely no idea who could actually be a priest. And they know this till this day. You have all these Jews running around saying, I'm the Cohen, I'm the Cohen, I'm the Cohen. Okay, show me the proof. Where's the proof that actually connects you back to these people? They can't show it because they have absolutely no idea. Because the Romans, when they destroyed the Second Temple, made sure that they were going to do so in a way that they would never be able to worship again. And that's why they went and burned the lineages down, right? But the Jews, still, like Dr. Responsible said, they're looking for a way of like, oh no, but we have this thing, we have that thing. So their whole religion is a cope. And the biggest evidence of being a cope is that, you know that phrase, 50 Jews, 51 different opinions, right? What doctrine does Rabbinic Judaism have? What dogma does it have? What belief does it have? What is the central message of Judaism? No one knows. You can be pro-gay, you can be pro-communist, you can believe Gentiles are beneath you, you can believe you can scam anyone you want. Hell, you can be a whole freaking atheist and not even believe that God exists.
Well, that was the argument. That was the argument, Pastor, back in the day. That was the age-old argument that you could be all of these things. That's bound by law. But so here's the thing. Hold on. Let me just say this. Here's the thing. Go ahead, because you like them.
You can believe in literally whatever you want and call yourself a Jew, except the one thing. You cannot believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. You can be whatever Jew as long as you are not a Christian. You will be considered a Jew. The only central doctrine of that religion is to reject Jesus as your Messiah. Judaism weirdly makes Jesus as central of a figure in their religion as Christianity does, except it's the opposite. The Christian says Jesus is his God. The Jew says believe in anything but that Jesus is your God. That's Judaism in a nutshell.
And this is why I say it was created solely, 100%, actually, I would say 85% for two things. One, as a way to cope with the fact that they killed their own Messiah. And number two, to a lesser extent, to make sure that the people that were in power, which are the Pharisees and Sadducees and other intellectuals, could keep their ethnic group together, which they've done successfully. But that's the whole religion. This is the only religion where you can be an atheist and be part of it. It's insane. It's insanity.
My pain is constant and sharp, and I do not hope for a better world for anyone. In fact,
and that is why it is the most satanic religion.
Yeah, it actually was a countermeasure to the way that the beliefs were being transitioned at the time, because you could look at people like Peter, who was telling the Galileans to also live by the code too, because well, not the Galileans, the Gentiles. He was telling the Gentiles, like, hey, you have to abide by the law too. And in this modern day reference, I'm going to look at it as like, hey, I'm telling Rabbi here, how to use nigga and about the word nigga. Now, as we know, contextually about the word nigga, that it's only applied and used by a certain group of people. But if I go and get to telling, white people and all of that shit about the context, the history, and the laws around how to use nigga, hey, don't use the ER, use that. You know what I'm saying? Like, carry the 1, not the 2 over the 3 and shit, get 13 minus all of that. Point is, they looked at these other people like, what the hell are y'all doing? This is where the separation kind of began. So the Talmud was put together to be like, hey, no, those are those set of Jews that are telling these other people how to live like Jews. We're going to actually use our own laws that we learn from the religion and keep this practice in-house now. These other people can't practice that. Y'all can't say nigga. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't be out here telling these people that they're abiding by a culture rule that they're not a part of. To me, it looks the same thing.
Historically, and it tracks historically. And I'm not trying to bash on the Jewish people, man. I'm really not. It's just once you realize what this is, it's hard to just shut up and go along with the program. But historically, this is all of the things that the Hebrew people have gotten into trouble for in the past. They are a proud people. The Bible describes them as. They are very much mixed with a huge amount of hubris, where they think that they can figure it out. They will find a way that's better than God. He sends them up to the mountain to get the 10 Commandments. By the time he comes back, they're making a calf. He tells them not to practice false idols. By the time another 30 years goes by, they're making idols out of Asher poles and giving their children to the Lord Baal. Like, this is gone. It's literature. That's the point. Over again. To teach you. Yeah, so... Yeah, but when you think about what we're saying about rabbinical Judaism, it completely tracks. This is the people, many of whom are incapable of sitting back and saying, yes, Lord, the one who has given us everything, who has defeated our enemies, who has taken us through hunger and famine and removed us from Egypt, we trust what you're going to do. A large portion of those people, for whatever reason, are wholly incapable of doing that. I supplicate. That's why they suffer. I supplicate as you speak. Right.
And that is why Rabbinic Judaism is the most satanic religion of the world from a Christian perspective, and they're called the children of Satan. From a Christian perspective, God is all good. So all things that are of God, including religion and his message, are good. What is sin? Sin is anything that goes against God. Who is the author of sin? Satan, which in Hebrew means adversary. The adversary of whom? The adversary of God. Now, considering all that, what is more satanic or adversarial to God, shall we say, than a religion that says you can do whatever you want, be whatever you want to be, like whatever you like, believe whatever you want, except that your God is your God. There is literally nothing more satanic than that. Do whatever, be whatever, act however, as long as you prostrate to anything but God is. That is the definition of Satanism, and that is what religion claims that. Rabbinic Judaism
is that?
It says that you can do whatever you want.
Yes.
So rules are like the 10 Commandments. That doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yes,
Being an atheist.
So wait. So what are the points of the 10 Commandments?
That's the point. In Rabbinic Judaism, the only rule that you actually can't break is that you can't believe in the Lord Jesus Christ.
So Rabbinic Judaism?
Dude, what do you want?
You. So what you want to hear?
Don DeMarco.
So anyways, so you're saying that Rabbinic Judaism says, look, just believe in God and then everything else is all good?
No, I'm saying it says the complete opposite. Believe in anyone but Jesus and everything else is all.
Believe in anything else?
Yeah.
But Jesus?
Yup.
Yo, who just moved me? What the fuck?
I don't know, but you know what I'm gonna do? This way. There you go. Thank you.
Damn, niggas hating on Kendall? That's crazy.
I don't even know. What is a Rabbinic Jew? What's the difference between that and a real Jew or a standard Jew?
The only real Jew is the Christian one. The one who follows the Messiah. If you follow the Jewish Messiah, then you are a Christian.
So Rabbinic, how do you spell it?
R-A-B-B-I-N-I-C. You would just call them colloquially as Jews today. But as I'm a believing Christian, I don't want to do an insult to the prophets. So I call them Rabbinic Jew.
Bro, this guy's got LED lights all around his desk.
No, I have a simple lamp.
He's got a simple lamp.
Oh, lantern. Fuck you, Tony. Anyway, I grew up around these guys, Orthodox, all them motherfuckers and shit like that. So I'm very familiar at what they believe in and the egregious nature of how they contradict even their own culture. Especially when you start bringing in the Kabbalah. And so, like, those Jews, even then, they can, kind of grift between cultures, seemingly. If you understand the Talmud and the Kabbalah and its esoteric nature, it relates back to, the Old Testament and kind of like the early Christians in its passages.
So I'm looking this up on ChatGPT. It says,
my pain is constant, and I do not hope for a better world for anyone.
Polytheism, idolatry, denial of the Torah's divine origin, denial of God's unity. It's not okay.
Those who call themselves Jews but practice Hinduism.
But you know what it does say? It's an oversimplification. And if they say it's an oversimplification, that means it's kind of truthful, but just being alliterative. So that's pretty interesting, actually.
The basic proof is that there are those who are Jewish that openly profess Buddhism, openly profess Hinduism. They're accepted as Jewish. They're accepted among.
But are those like the cultural ones, or like?
Well, that's the point. There's no definition of being a Jew that exists outside the Old Testament.
So you're saying that, okay, so you hold a position that there's no such thing as a cultural Jew, they're just Jewish or they're not?
Well, I believe it. No, let me be more clear. I believe it exists, but as a human construct.
Yeah.
Now, the identity of Jew has no real basis beyond the Old Testament of the Bible. This is really where they became a people, or from what they trace their origins to as a people. Now they've defiled that construct by doing basically everything contrary to what God wants, and in their new defiled definition, they've said basically the only thing you can't do with that and maintain yourself as a Jew
is to believe in the Lord God Jesus Christ.
And this is a modern view, you're saying?
I would say this old thing, but that's definitely very explicated modern in a modern sense.
Hey, Psyche, if you, or just to everybody in the room, if you could take away from like this last 1 hour of conversation, just the willingness to go look around and check this out for yourself, like that would be I would feel like I've done a great service along with the other gentlemen, because I did not know this. Somebody told this to me and explained the simple part to me, and then I went and looked it up myself. But it is so moving to understand what's actually going on here. When you're looking, I mean, a lot of the people I recognize in this room really try and for global politics, religion, these issues that we discuss in Clubhouse. If this last hour could do anything and just have people take a look, dip their toe into the pool of this particular part of this religion, I mean, that would...
You're talking about the claims that the guy's just making?
Yes, because I made them as well. You just weren't here, but the Jews that we look at as Jewish people today are not practicing anything like what Moses, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob practiced. They're not practicing what Jesus practiced. This is a totally new religion created as a coping mechanism after they killed Jesus.
Let me ask you this then. What are there examples in today's society that you would point to say these are the closest people that are acting like the past times? Is there an example that you would point to say this group of people are acting
just I guess the Christians, but even they're not acting totally in the old covenant. There's really nobody left that is doing what the Hebrews that you read in the Bible were doing. No one's sacrificing. No one's.
But is that like? What about relatively?
Oh, people are sacrificing. That's not true.
Because there's a guy lying on here that seems to be pretty fucking consistent. I mean, as far as what he verbally.
Hebrew Israelites would be the closest thing.
This is just a matter of going to a local synagogue service.
No, that's not true, George. There are three examples. Doctor responsible is incorrect. Christians are the closest to following it. Why? Because the Old Testament always predicts and prophesies that there will be a new law, a new covenant, and end to sacrifice. So the ones who uphold that the most.
Yeah, but that's a belief. It's like it's a functional practice.
Sometimes work is just cut out for you.
So what I'm saying is that like today, like we obviously live different than the past. So like, what about the people? They don't press buttons on elevators or some shit. Isn't there some shit like that?
No, but those are all Talmudic laws. Those have nothing to do with the Old Testament. Now, if you want an example,
they live perfect lives.
This guy is statement. If you want examples of Christians who are culturally Jewish, i.e., okay, I believe in Jesus and all this, I just do things culturally a Jewish way. You have to look at the 1st and 2nd century Christianity that was practiced in Judea. Someone like Paul the Apostle, for instance, many Jewish cultural rituals, but acknowledged he only did them out of culture because he was a Jew. You did not have to do them if you were Greek, you did not have to do them if you were Persian, you did not have to do them if you were any other type of culture.
Right. So what do you do? What do you practice?
I'm Catholic.
Okay. Consider yourself Christian? Like under the broad umbrella? I didn't hear you.
Catholics are Christians.
Some beg to differ. I'm just saying where you stand. Okay, so let me ask you this then. Do you think you practice functionally like more of the pastimes, or like are you part of the group that doesn't do it the right way?
I'd say my church is the truest and most orthodox and traditional in what Christ just was preaching, doing.
So that's like the preaching part. But what about your everyday lifestyle? Like, do you like adhere to, like, if basically, if you brought yourself back to the past, you'd be okay, right?
Yes, I would be.
So what do you do differently than like other people? Like in your, if you don't mind, in your everyday practice of like living, like that you would say follow your.
Okay, I'll give an example. So when the law of Christ and the Messiah is established, the Old Testament Testament basically becomes, let's say, the American Constitution. It becomes a cultural framework by which one uses to guide their morale. So things like don't steal, don't murder, don't lie are permanent. Now, the specific metrics of, for instance, okay, like, all right, I'll just give a different example. Something like show respect to your elders.
Yeah.
The universal divine law of Christ. Now, what does that look like? That differs in American society to Norwegian society to Brazilian society, blah, 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 blah. Right? So I'm American. My parents are Nigerian. How do I show respect to my mother and my father? I bow to them in the home. I don't expect my next door neighbor to do the same because he comes from a different cultural background than I do. But we're still both following Christ's law, which is respect thy mother and thy father. We just do it in our own different ways. Both are acceptable.
So you physically bow to your parents?
Yes, I do. More so my grandparents. My parents are pretty Americanized now. Like parents.
Is that like a cultural thing or like more of a religious thing?
That's a cultural thing.
Do your parents bow to your grandparents?
Sometimes, but like I said, they became Americanized. I think they used to, but not.
If you were to have kids, would they adopt that practice?
Oh, absolutely not. No. I mean, like, I'm...
Oh, shit. Someone crashed out.
Dude, what's your culture?
Yeah.
Orange culture is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard, bro.
Yeah.
Who is that?
I think it's Abdizzle. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about you.
You guys sound like you're in a big cipher right now.
But anyway, it's like, yeah, I'm
in a Jewish cipher right now. This is a cipher. Let them cook.
That's like, I'm the last generation of my family that will have any traces of Nigerian culture in them. Like, I'm pretty
Ooh, talk about nasal.
I love Nigerian culture then.
I doubt you know anything about
No, hey, this guy can speak
I know very little.
Hey, he can speak every language.
Yoruba? Are you Igbo?
Hey, George, speak the language.
Igbo?
Talk
Which one?
Tell whatever his language.
Yoruba.
I'm not Yoruba.
What are you?
I'm Igbo.
Good, go. There you go. Go, George.
Are you the Hebrew Israelite?
No.
Mind you.
Most of us are Catholic.
That's what they call. They call the Yoruba the Jews, and they call y'all the Hebrew Israelite.
Actually, no, they call us the Jews of Nigeria, but that's because we're known to be greedy and very mercantile and just ironic.
The Hebrew Israelites aren't all crazy. They're not.
You don't know how much they done stole the innocence of young boys and girls here. They like the Catholics. HI.
They stole. I don't know much about them.
You're telling me you're from Nigeria.
I just know that they know their shit when they argue with people.
Oh, no, yeah, like they're. Man, look, I could just say a lot of things. I ain't finna get into that. Cause y'all gonna be like, oh, Kendall, he hate black Hebrew Israelites. Then I'm gonna be arguing with Lion for like 6 hours. I ain't finna do that, bro.
That's like a normal day, though.
Nah, I already argued like a long time ago.
Say what you gotta say.
We're all just living.
I've spoken to a lot of them as well, and I don't think that they're 100% crazy. Who was it?
We're all just living these normal lives.
Oh, actually, I just thought of something. It's like, if you want a group of Christians that culturally is most similar, not in terms of religious belief, like the religious beliefs are constant, but in terms of like cultural practices is most similar to how Second Temple Jews would be, you should actually look up the Nestorians in Iraq and Iran, because they have been, like, their churches are a bit separated from others. So they're the least culturally influenced by either Western cultures or by like Arab Muslim cultures. Like Egypt, Palestine.
Bro, to come to think about it, you sound like a reverse Louis. And I wish he was here so y'all could give a comparison, right? Because y'all can tell by like the Nigerians speak a certain way, bro. That's crazy, bro. All of y'all niggas. My bad. I had to interrupt you. Cause nigga, hey, bro, you been talking for a while, bro. I don't know. Like, you ever chill the fuck out? You know?
On occasion. For Fridays, usually.
No.
Look, this the nighttime, man. Look, it's the Night King. They minded me tonight. So, look, this is what we doing, bro. Man, welcome, Pastor. Of course, you get to talk. We're going to give you unlimited talk. The unlimited talk ticket.
Talk, text, and date.
Tonight. Since you've been talking tonight, you've been holding it down and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Welcome to the Chill of the Night show where Kendo doesn't say hi back, bitch.
I was about to just say hi to your little ass.
You don't say hi to nobody.
Oh, shit. See, look what y'all did. See, look, I'm blaming Rabbi. He got me in trouble with the women. But what up, Mochi? What up, Violet? What up, everybody? What up, my nigga Shay? Shay Moss in here. What did you feel about my comparison with the word nigga and the Talmudic gatekeeping? Pastor, do you feel that that was a fair comparison?
That is a pretty fair comparison. Judaism is neither an ethnicity nor is it a religion. It's a cult at this point.
It's a practice.
No, it's a cult.
No,
it's a practice.
It's a practice. So this is what I found out, right? Because I don't know if you are like me and you ran into Buddha Jews. And Buddha Jews, I discovered a rich tribe of them here. They're all white people who hit hills in the park. And they pray to Buddha and meditate. And they're Jews, bro.
But that's why
they stay in the Jewish community here.
But that's why I say it's a cult. Because, like, I mean, we can show it's not an ethnicity.
Yeah, it's a cult of justice.
Yeah, because, you know, giving 3-year-olds herpes in New York is just...
No, that's not what's happening.
Oh, that's not what's happening, yeah.
That's not the thing.
Hold on. Let's hear first.
It's intellect. It's about intellect. It's about studying human behavior and being stewards of civilization. Like, I don't know why I've been here the past few months. Like, it's all clear as day. Like, I'm just, like, too reluctant for the big reveal. But it's just, like, Judaism is about being adults. It's about being responsible.
Yeah, George, but you could have
Hold on. Wait. Don't jump him. He's speaking for the first time tonight. Welcome versus what's your like clear opinion as far as when it comes to like representing your point, and can you source some real data, like some real live events that show and support your point?
You should have went to Thumbtack. I paid for all that.
Yeah, I did too. I got to get packed up and everything. I can't. They wanted $2,500 to pack my stuff. I'm sorry.
For 3 minutes?
Yeah, that's all the crap that I guess.
Oh my gosh. I done moved down the street before.
They ain't gonna move that shit for you.
I moved down the street and I used 2 guys in a truck, and that shit was like maybe $200 an hour.
They quoted $2,500.
Is that for them to pack your box? Wait a minute. Was that $2,500 for everything? Like, come pick you up and move? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably
Last time I moved, I paid $300 for the whole move.
Yeah, but she's talking about packing up her house, packing up her mother's house, and moving them, and
that, you need to fulfill the basic needs of the pyramid, which is survival mode, like having shelter, having food, having water, and then your family safety, things like this. Sense of achievement. When a person can't have a shelter,
John, you should have said something. We could have definitely, we could have had a fundraiser. Definitely could have got you 15.
For example, my parents are rich in Iran, but there is no safety, so we cannot move on the next level. So we cannot have self-awareness. So let's just imagine she don't know that.
But we still have you a housewarming karaoke party.
No.
Do people got paid to sing.
Bonnet, when you were pricing people to pack your stuff, what resources did you use to get that quote?
I did thumbtack, I did 2 men in a truck, and I did some people that was just a Google search.
I mean, it's just one example. Like every fucking, like if I would pay for packing, because I don't know if it was staged or not. Anyway, but I was like, maybe I'll pay for packing too. But not have the same company that's moving me pack me up. I went to a link, like one of the sites that I went to, they had like a partnership or an affiliation with like one of those places. It wasn't like Thumbtack.
The dancing Israelis were actually dancing Arabs, and it was a white woman.
I understand the difference, right?
Yeah, she had called it in to say that there were strange brown men dancing.
Yoli, can you hear me?
There's a lot of faith in her.
Guys, can you hear me?
I'm glad that the color of the. But they say that they ended up getting investigated by the FBI for like 2 months.
Did they? Did they even find them?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They were held by in America for a while for that.
Oh, I see.
I think my greater point is that I was trying to make is that it takes an incredible amount of self-awareness to understand. The brain doesn't come with a fucking like a manual, right? Like a fucking how to operate your brain. Right, and maybe with fucking AI, maybe we can develop that.
AI is the new thing to usher in the Antichrist, and that's what we're really doing.
Shut up, Michael.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes,
I have a question. There's something.
Hold on. Real quick. Is there any other Asians that would like to get their word out?
Sorry, Mary's trying to speak, so could you guys?
Okay, I just wanted to find that. Go on, Mary. I do apologize.
I mean, we are technically Asians, West Asians.
No need to fear. I just heard that Seymour is the Antichrist, so we don't have to wait any longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say that thank you, Matthew, for sharing your perspective. And I wanted to see if anybody else, like Sam or Rick, do you guys want to contribute, like Sam?
Mary, can I leave a comment before the next person?
Yes, after Sam or Rick, because we want to give mic to everybody, so then you can maybe think about what you want to say, and it will be great.
I will talk after Sam then.
Yeah. Okay, Sam, do you want to say something?
Sure. I kind of just woke up, but I wanted to say that this isn't a clash of individuals who just have individualistic fear. This is a clash of civilizations, and it's been going on for a long time, since Khaybar, if anybody knows what Khaybar is. And the issue is not, somebody mentioned earlier the issue of the Palestinians, right? It started out as the conversation between Jews and the Palestinians, and then Dean changed it from Palestinians to the Muslims and Muslim history. Why? Because the Palestinian history cannot be removed from the Muslim history and the beginning of Islamic history. And because that is the civilization. And guess the same with many of the, I guess, Muslim tribes outside of the Persians, of course, because the Persians had a long Persian history before Islam, and they made their Persian identity, and that's why you find that Iran has a large atheist population, and that is fighting against the Islamic civilization.
Yeah, but give you a right to come to our land. And
Son, do you have anything valid to share to prove your receipts, please?
Oh, God. John.
Sorry, I had to move him.
The Persians just became Muslims.
Yeah.
You know? I said the Persians just became Muslims. They got like conquered and had to convert, pay tax and stuff, or get killed or something. It was like
and we, the Arabs, they gathered all our teachers and also scientists in a big banquet, and they said we want to celebrate, and then they murdered them all. And the reason for that, they wanted to completely destroy the Persian language and history. The people who had the knowledge, they were killed there, but not all. So our families kept our books and our teaching in secret, and they taught our children until to this day. So that's how we preserve our history. The other thing is that the Persian Empire was so huge and vast that the Arabs didn't have enough time to eliminate our culture and our language. I mean, they could easily do it to Egypt and other countries they conquered because they were small. Iran and Persia were so huge, they didn't have enough time. And there were the Iranians doing riots, gathering of military, and fought the Arabs. So,
but I wouldn't call it celebrate.
So the thing is that the Arabs, I mean, our capital was Teaspoon, which is a city that was burned down to the ground. It's at 20 kilometers away from Baghdad. Okay, that was our capital. And you see, Iraq is a new country. There's nothing Persian about Iraq anymore, although it was our capital. It was like the New York of the United States, our capital, and it got destroyed.
Yeah,
and
when we go there, we're going to celebrate. But I wouldn't call it celebrate. I wouldn't do that. We're not there yet. That's the issue.
And the thing is that there's also something that the brother says about Jews and Israel. Every time that some big shit happens in the world, they say the word Israel. They say 9/11, it was the plan of the Jews. They all evacuated this building. There was not one single Jew on that day. Then they say, okay, the 7th of October, it was planned by the Israeli government so they can have excuse to attack Gaza. All of these, every time something like that happens, they say it was the Jews. And Charlie Kirk's, I read it on the X and other platforms that the Jews, or I don't know, someone from their side, they offered him $150 million or something like that, which is there's no fact check about that. This is just like rumors. They say the Jews killed him because he had like anti-Israeli ideologies, or he didn't talk in their favor. Every time something happens, they want to stick it to the Jews. And I understand it. I mean, these are the Arab buds and these blacks and these Black Lives Matters and the Antifas, they're active. They have like over like 100,000 personnel,
No, call it what you want to call it. No.
They fool the internet with this information.
No. I want to say, first of all, thank you for your perspective. And we want to give mic to everybody. So, Rick, AK, and Vayfan, do you guys want to contribute? Rick, you have joined for a long time, so I guess you will be the first.
Me? Oh shit! What's the topic?
It's on top of the room. You can read it. What do you think? What's your perspective?
I don't know. I was in here earlier, and there was some dude who was just spewing a bunch of BS. Had to leave.
There was some. Take your pick. You see the title?
It means Dean. The guy's name was Dean. Dean.
Yeah.
I did.
So what do you think, Rick, about the bullshit?
I kicked him out.
Wait, who'd you kick out?
Dean.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
Oh, I thought he just left.
Yeah, he's a complete psychopath. No, no, I don't want to be around.
So, Rick, you said that you heard some bullshit. What do you think about that?
It's just he seemed like he was doing some tequila. I don't. I'm pretty. I support Israel, but like I don't really get involved in any of the back and forth fighting online. But yeah, I support Israel.
I want to welcome Wayfan, one of my friends.
Wait, which Rick is this?
Sam. Sam, I was asking Amir yesterday. I've never heard Sam before.
Is this the Rick that's by me?
Yeah. I'm glad you spoke, bro. I thought you didn't exist to be here, Sam. It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday.
Ticket. Yeah, double dip.
Yeah, Amir especially hates me.
You're not special if Amir hates you, okay? I'm never you're special. You're special, but not that reason. No, Luca's the only special in the room right now.
Nargis, by the way, what was wrong with you singing love songs from Elton John to this terror supporter?
I was singing from Barth to Amir because they fight with each other 24 hours.
I was thinking to myself, well, what's wrong with her? She's
Huruz jangi ba ham mijangan. 24 hours they fight. So I from Barth to Amir.
Oh my god, that you sang Elton John to them?
Yes, honey. It's a very emotional. What song? I sang Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest. They fight each other 24 hours.
Oh my god.
They were like, you're just shocked.
I'm looking after Rick, please.
No. I'm sorry. First AK or Wayfan, then we can have repeated talkers. So AK or Wayfan, which one of you want to talk? Like Wayfan, I think he was very active in the chat. Or AK, if you want, you can go first.
Mary, I like that idea though. We should use that little term. We can call them repeated talkers. Every time someone you don't like, you just say, I'm sorry, repeated talker. You'll have to wait.
Yeah.
You ain't no repeated talker. Look at Fifi. Come up here. You boy and Fifi.
Weird, strange things like baby carriages with blood on it. All kinds of weird shit. So my question would be, so if you see something like that, how can you say those people, like specifically speaking of like the ones that are the religious?
I don't know much about that.
You don't know much about that? It was on the news last year.
I'm not gonna make
that big story.
What baby carriages? What?
You never put your Jew?
Isn't that suspicious?
Yeah, this is crazy.
I heard about that recently. I heard things about that when that was happening.
George, are you sober?
Carriages? Yeah, what, bro? What?
Yeah, you're not speaking. You're not speaking coherently, because at one point I thought you was a troll, and now you probably are in the.
He's always drunk. He's always drunk like this. It doesn't matter what time of day, what time of night. But here's one thing: his rhetoric never changes. It's the same rhetoric, even if he's, it doesn't matter all the time.
I just love the laws of Moses.
Yes, he truly believes this fucking.
I just love the laws of Moses. I didn't get much in this life. I got the laws of Moses at a certain point. That's what I just love the most.
You love the law of Moses.
Yes, I love the laws of Moses. Is that okay? Can I love the laws of Moses? Is that okay?
I mean, you can, but how do you love something that God ordained, but then say that you care about God, but you don't believe in God? How the fuck do you believe in something you don't care about?
I believe in God, bro.
You do?
I believe in God.
So you're not an atheist.
I'll do anything for God.
So I get it. So you're saying Kendall,
God of Moses. I'll do anything for the God of Moses, bro.
You can say you love God, but you don't really mean it. So he's an atheist. He said atheist too. So.
Oh, you did? So you're a liar then, George.
All right.
Man, this is a weird motherfucker.
You're bro. Can I just love the laws of God? Okay, like, am I not allowed to do this?
I mean, you're allowed to
you gotta support it.
Yeah, you're allowed to do and say whatever you want. This is America. I mean, right now we have freedom of speech and, freedom to do whatever the hell we want to do that doesn't harm others. So you can do what you want to do. It's just that you have to have context to what you believe in. Like if you're real quick to the mod. Somebody has girl block, man. What's her name? Carolyn Block, aka Guava. Can one of y'all unblock her so she can get back in the room? I don't know if it's Abdissel, Pure.
I don't know if I'm at work. I don't know if it's me from a long time ago. So I'm gonna move myself down and then bring me back up to the audience.
Okay.
All right, I got you, sis.
Cool. Okay, so yeah. Just real quick, yeah, Guava. So yeah, you probably can come back up if you're able to come in. But so yeah, I mean, everything has to have context. I mean, if you claim something, things have to make sense.
Just seeing people live with the laws of Moses.
George, let me just say this. Let me just establish some regulation, right? Just when it comes to believing something, to believe in what people believe in, right? But things have to make sense as to why you believe what you believe in. So if you are an atheist, how can you be somebody that loves God?
Because I love his law.
Who the fuck got me blocked?
I think it was Pure. I think Pure.
Me from a long time ago. I'm finna undo it.
Love is law. Wait, George, you know what you're quoting? You're quoting Aleister Crowley. So you really don't love God.
Read back to the song.
Who am I quoting?
The law is love. You just quoted Aleister Crowley. That's what he says.
Oh, Aleister Crowley.
Okay, you over there next to me. Read your back channel as well.
Isn't that the guy from Satanism?
Yeah, this motherfucker wrote the book 777.
Oh my God, did I just quote Aleister?
Yeah, you literally said the whole
Crowley? Because I said
you literally quoted
law.
Yes.
Oh shit.
I mean, you can love God or love Christ, which I don't know if you believe in Christ, but by keeping what they say, by loving the law that they say. But when you make the phrase "law is love," that means that the law is whatever you want to do. It's the Aleister Crowley principle of do what thou will. Like the hashtag line from Nike. The Saturnalian fucking quote known as Nike. Just do it. I mean, that's where those phrases come from. That dude was very instrumental in bringing a lot of the ideology into this country, or really all around the world. So, yeah, I mean, George, I don't know, man. I don't think you believe in God like you say. like Kendall was saying. I think you're.
My bad.
Yeah. I don't know if you're playing games.
I'm just a Saturnalian God then. Yeah, what can I say?
Just like
Saturnalian fellow.
That's the reason why the Jews were all black.
I'm Saturnalian, isn't it?
Their God is the horn god Satan.
I'm rather Saturnalian, isn't it?
Yeah, you can joke around all you want to, boy. I know exactly what y'all worship. And I'm not even talking about all Jews. I'm talking about the elitist Jews. The elites on that side.
Or is it Saturn, the eater of children?
Yeah, the eater of children. like what they do over there, the things that drinking baby's blood. Yeah, you think it's funny. Yeah, you think it's funny. Because you know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm eating children, bro, right here. I'm over here eating children with
you think it's funny, that's what they do. That's the religion of
right here laying in the middle of the
they don't follow the Torah. They put that at the front. They follow the Talmud. The Talmud is okay with lesbianism.
I want you to
go to Christ burning in hell and all this other shit.
Tomorrow's Shabbos. Tomorrow, I swear to you, bro. I'll Venmo you. I don't know if my EDD is gonna work out, but I'll Venmo you.
This be the shit.
Go to the local synagogue tomorrow, bro, and talk to the rabbi. That's it, bro. They're the good people, bro. They're the good guys.
Be Christian, but they're support.
They're the good guys.
People who these people in Israel specifically, the people that follow that religion.
They put effort
into it. You're talking shit about Christ in the Bible in the country that you live in, but for some reason you Christians support them. A lot of these right-wing Bible Belt retarded ass fucking inbred motherfuckers down south, because they only read 1 or 2 scriptures a day. They think they know something about the scriptures, but then when you sit up here, you start questioning what they believe in, and then questioning what's going on right now, and questioning the people over there. They want to get all up in arms. They want to cry like bitches.
Just leave those poor people alone and I'll get off Clubhouse.
Once again, I don't have issues with Jewish people. I have issues with the elite. And it's questioning this motherfucker right here is showing you.
I love you. I love you.
This dude's sitting up here talking about do what thou wilt.
And whatever you
the
do,
law is love.
Whatever you do, nothing but
told now it's a probably.
Always love you.
Believe in the Bible.
We are the same. We are the same blood. We are the same spine.
We are the same. You and I.
We are the same. You and I, we're the same.
No, we're not.
From the same mother. Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
Yes, sir.
Well, technically, I mean, if you want to be technical, you're right.
Technically, yeah.
But we're two different